by royal appointment, because we know, Robert, you were awarded an OBE, weren't you?
I was
in
indeed,
99.
yes.
And by all accounts, hi Patrick.
How you doing?
That was swift.
Yes.
You made the Queen laugh. You told her a bit of a joke.
Yeah, I was surprised that she actually knew me. She kind of recognised me, and she said, so what are you up to? And I said, I've been trying to kill James Bond this week. And she laughed.
Now, you were trying
Like
to
no
kill...
one else did here.
Look how young you are there.
Oh my gosh, hang on a minute.
Hang on, you're too young to be killing James Bond, surely.
Oh, look at you.
Like a wee boy.
Just a
Look at you.
Bubsy.
Oh, it looks like the first time you put a suit on.
It's kind of depressing.
It's hard, though, isn't it, to know what to wear when you meet a royal? Not that I have many times, to be honest, just the once. But you were kind of caught out a bit, weren't you, Victoria?
Yeah,
because you were invited to dinner. Go on, tell us what happened.
I wasn't invited to dinner. I was invited to do a concert at Windsor Palace. And
Right,
there was a
yeah.
full orchestra playing beautiful music.
Right.
And the actor Alex Jennings and I were asked to play Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, and we had to read the letters, many of the letters that they wrote to each other over their lifetime.
Lovely.
Very beautiful letters. So we did this performance, and there was meant to be a very big swish banquet afterwards, which was black tie. So we were meant to run off stage and change out of our enormous Victorian costumes and wigs, and
Okay.
I'd had a baby quite recently, and I grabbed the first thing I could think of in my wardrobe without bothering to try it on, went to try and put on my dress to wear to the dinner, and I couldn't get it past my knees because I'd grown slightly, and said to Alex, I can't go. I can't fit in my dress. I know they're waiting for us, but I have nothing to wear. And he said, I'll stay dressed as Prince Albert, you stay dressed as Queen Victoria, and we're going like this. So I spent an evening at a banquet with Prince Charles dressed as his great-great-grandmother, which was, I think, the most surreal evening of my life.
And then, of course, you played the Queen Mother, so does that guarantee...
I did. I can't get away from what's going on.
Does that guarantee...
It follows you around.
It does.
So does that guarantee a damehood or some time in the
I should
Tower?
think
What do you think?
completely the reverse.
OK.
I should think. I don't think it guarantees me anything at all. That was my four-boob part, where I had to pull on a swimsuit with a fake tummy and boobs and to play the Queen Mum. Yeah.
Okay, just got that
Process
image.
that.
I've lost that image. I'm
Yeah,
moving
got
on.
it, yeah.
We're going to be talking about your new show. It's absolutely brilliant. It's one of
Thank
those shows,
you.
whenever I was watching it on the preview and the first episode ends, you go, no, where's the next episode? So it's a riveting watch. And we're going to be chatting about that a little bit later on.
Brilliant. We've seen the first episode. Now, sort of, the highlights are that it's the threat of an impending national crisis, and it's about really how the government deals with it, isn't it, Robert?
Well, when you join the story, there's the threat of extreme space weather, as they call it, in the shape of a solar storm. What that is, basically, is there's nuclear particles that emit from the sun, and they hurtle towards the Earth and kind of wipe out everything. But you can imagine if that happened now, we depend entirely on electrics and devices, all this kind of stuff. It would be an absolute disaster.
So you're the Prime Minister, Victoria, you're the Chief of Staff.
Yes.
How much research did you have to do? Because COBRA kind of keeps stuff on the lowdown, generally, don't they?
Yeah, one of the interesting things for me was when I realised I was playing a special advisor is not really knowing much about that role. You imagine that those people are chiefly there to advise, and then as I started to do more and more reading into what that role actually means, you realise that these people are, you know, sitting in rooms forming policy with the Prime Minister. They're actually hugely powerful, and she is very much his right-hand woman and his sort of conscience, I think, a lot of the time. And they have a very close relationship. It's not to say that they aren't combative at times, because they are, but they work very much as a team, much more so than I had ever realised, really, because it's always the Prime Minister that you see standing outside Number 10 saying, this is what we're going to do next. But, yeah, it's quite frightening to realise just how much power the people just behind him have.
And that's what the drama gives you, is a real insight into the side of things that we don't really know about. Was it surprising for you, though, Robert, that you were asked to play a Scottish Tory MP?
a boy from Mary Hill.
Like,
well, what's more unlikely here? A solar flare hitting the Earth,
I think
or a boy from Mary
Scots
Hill?
Tory. It's the lesser spotted Scots Tory. There's not too many of them around. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm your natural choice, probably, to play a Scots Tory MP, Scots Tory Prime Minister. But I was delighted when I was offered to do it. Always looking for a challenge, and that was certainly a challenge.
And you looked at lots of YouTube stuff, didn't you? Was it to get the voice right, or the accent right?
Not so much that. I mean, the great thing about this part, of course, is there's masses of research material out there on YouTube and, you know, various books and stuff, and not just in prime ministers, but just in politicians in general. So it was kind of easy to find that and try to find. It's not based in any one particular person, but there's maybe a few. What I kind of did was take a few, shuffle them like a pack of cards, and that was it, really.
So you had to basically posh up for this role. Did you have to posh down a bit? Because you're more used to the grand rooms.
Yeah.
Your characters are more used to the grand rooms.
In fact, we were one of the first very grand rooms we filmed in. Bobby said to me, you must be used to this. This is, you know, this kind of setting. And I kind of went, well, you know, actually, after the last couple of years, I am. And he said, usually if I film in rooms like this, I'm playing a character that's breaking into them. And there's been a great kind of... I've loved it. I've done a lot of period drama in my life, and I've spent a lot of time in corsets.
Oh, yeah.
And not that wasn't terrific, but it is
got
great
one
to
on
be
right
out of the
now.
corsets.
It's so good.
And, you know, if there were to be a solar storm, your family, Robert, are pretty well prepared, because obviously you're in Vancouver, you're based there as a family, aren't you? Where the kids actually in school, they have to do routine practices for earthquakes, and your wife is fully stocked your garage, isn't she?
She's great like that. Well, they do earthquake drills, because there's been an earthquake that's been promised. It's on the horizon, apparently. It's long overdue, in actual fact. In fact, I think there was a smaller kind of earthquake in Vancouver Island just about 6 weeks ago. So we're very aware of that over there, and you're advised to be, God forbid, but you're advised to be as prepared for that kind of thing as you can. So it's all stocked. Our garage is stocked up with bottles of water, gas canisters, and
essentials.
Food.
Well, best to be prepared. You never know these days, especially, do you?
Digestive biscuits and gin.
And baked beans and gin, that's the key ingredient. Well, COBRA will air on Sky One and Now TV from a week on Friday at 9 o'clock.